Race from promotion to the Premier League seems to have been dried up a little bit, but what about the race to avoid the drop? Well, that's starting to heat up a little bit. We'll take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show today. We're going to take a look at match day number 32 out of the Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, smash the subscribe, get your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related. We got it all here, boys. We got it all here under Waruski. That's right, of course. Yes, of course. Promotion seems to be drying up for a lot of teams. Basically, what we're looking at between seventh or up, realistically, are in the playoff hopes. As for the rest of the gang, it seems to be a season of stability. As for the foot of the table, though, it's starting to bubble up nicely, including a bit of panic stations potentially for Rovers. We'll take a look at all that in a minute. Of course, a big shout out to the VIPs, the Banda Brothers, the Patreons. Thank you for your continued support. If you want to join the illustrious band of men and women, check out the link down below. As of course, we have a busy old summer up ahead. So let's get cracking. Here we go, lads. Here we bloody go. Kick it all off with a recap of the games. There's been a few of them. Of course, stretching all the way back to the weekend. And we're looking at, of course, Watford up against Reading, of course, was the first one. 2-0 win. Got that one bang on the bloody nose, lads. Bang on the bloody nose. She managed to start with a couple of goals there, giving Watford the win, of course, to keep them in contention. Maybe, definitely for automatics at the moment. They've got 7-point clearance over Swansea. So, yes, a big win for them. 2-0 win, got one bang on the nose. Meanwhile, Millwall against Swansea, also a big win for Swansea. Keep them up within the race for at least the playoffs anyway. Ayo Jamal Lowe with a couple of goals as well, giving Swansea the win. Millwall, of course, doing all right for themselves in ninth. Bournemouth also big winners as well of a Coventry 4-1 win was the call. Where is it? There it is. Of course, goals coming from Groeneveld with a couple of goals there. David Brooks and Dominic Solanke as well. Matty James getting on the score sheet for Coventry as they lost 2-0 for me. Yes. Meanwhile, Birmingham again kept up the playoff or promotion hopes. It's not playoff hopes. Maybe next year, of course. 2-0 win for Birmingham. That's right. Lee Bowier's boys. Lucas Chikowicz with a couple of goals there, giving the win over Stoke. As for me, actually went the 2-1 win, so not too bad there. Bristol City against Forest end up all square 1-1 for me. 0-0 was the final score there, I believe. Goals coming from nobody. It was, of course, Borough Stations, of course. Cardiff against Rovers ended up 2-2. Actually, went the 2-1 for Rovers because I just want that win. It was a good result in the end when you think about it, despite us going behind twice. Will Volks, Joe Rawls on the score for Cardiff, Adam Armstrong with a brace, giving us a point in the end. Meanwhile, Derby against Norwich, it was a 1-0 win for Norwich. Just the one goal was enough there that they needed. Goals from Kieran Dowell to give them the win. 2-0 for me, not too bad. But of course, Barnsley keeping up the heat, of course, at the top of the table, towards the top of the table with the 2-0 win as well. Goals coming from Alex Mowat and Dara Dike getting the goal for, of course, Barnsley and win the win. Middlesbrough also falling at the wayside as the season comes to a close. Meanwhile, Huddersfield against Rotherham, and now as a 1-1 draw was Mark Cole. 0-0 was the final score there. I was a point in the bag for Rotherham, of course, a point against your opposition as well. Preston North End got smashed dashed up by Brentford. 5-0 loss on that guy. I remember the 1-0 win for Preston. I don't know what I was thinking. Goals coming from Brandon Bembo, Marcus Force, Tony on the score sheet, Canos as well. McCombs getting a goal as well for Brentford as they took full advantage. Meanwhile, QPR also smashed Sheffield Wednesday. Lyndon Dykes with a couple of goals there. Stephen Johansson and Chris Willock on the score sheet. Josh Windass getting a consolation goal for Sheffield Wednesday as they lost. Meanwhile, Wickham against Luton was a 3-1 win for Luton on the road as well. Big win for Luton. Of course, bit of trouble there for Wickham now. Anis Mehmet T with a big fat penalty giving Wickham the lead. Josh Knight, though, got himself sent off, which kind of put the end to it. Of course, George Moncur, Lou Alawa and Adebayo on the score sheet. Of course, Luton giving them the 3-1 win. And, of course, put Wickham back in trouble. Of course, into the midweek games we go then. There was a 3 of them. Of course, bit of a catch-up games here. Of course, Rotherham with, of course, the busy agenda. Sheffield Wednesday, though, they did lose to Swansea. Jamal O'Jay Fulton on the score sheet, giving Swansea the win. Back-to-back wins for them. And Rotherham also pick up a big win against QPR as well. 3-1 win for Rotherham. Freddie Ladapo with a couple of goals there. Michael Smith, Lyndon Dykes on the score sheet as well. The QPR. 3-1 for them, 1-1 for me. And of course, Huddersfield did lose to Bournemouth as well. 2-1 win. Bournemouth's goals from Billing and Solanke. Jonathan Hong getting the goal for Huddersfield, but of course not good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 10, boys. Not 9, but I got 10. That's right. Of course, what's that done to the table? Well, here we go. Of course, like I said, Norwich lead the charge at the moment. 90 points on the board. Of course, Watford are 8 points adrift of them. I think, what is it? 5 points left. They just need 1 point. I think they just need 1 point to seal the bloody deal. There's like 5 games left, I think. So 1 point to seal feel the bloody deal, or do they? Or do they think the Brentford game in hand is the caveat? Basically a win, I think. I think Norwich are up. Swansea though in second. Brentford, of course, not too far away either. Bournemouth, Barnsley are in the top 6 at the moment. Reading falling at the wayside a little bit. They could realistically, you look at a Cardiff, potentially they would need, there's 4 games left, 12 points on the agenda, 69. Realistically, there is no hope. There is no hope for them. It's either Reading or bust, really. Down the foot of the table, it is Wycombe. They're going down at the moment. It looks like they're going down. Sheffield Wednesday, they've also got 12 points on the offering. That would be, 47 at the moment. Negative goal difference as well. So 47 is that. Rotherham with 38. Is that correct? Is that the amount of games they played? 38. They've still got 3 games in hand. Goodness gracious me. But anyway, regardless of all that, they're the busy bees right now. We're going to keep an eye on Rotherham, just to because there's a lot that could still happen at the foot of the table. Well, let's get into it and let's take a look at those games that are coming up in just a second. Of course, big shout out to you guys. Of course, like I said, 10 gets you in top bins. Anything else, you're shite. Ojo 52, you're shite, brother. So Robert Harles also did good. Alex Weather did bits. Lee 2021, you did good. Game Child did bits, absolutely tremendous, just like me. Joachim Jackson also did very well. Freddy 77 also did good. Jacob Spears FC, great, you did good. Okay, did okay. Of course, Tom Stainer smashed it. Dash dot. Of course, Shane O'Donnell also did very well. Of course, Ollie Trafford did bits. Good to go. Well done to you. Of course, this guy here did good. And Russell Frost smashed it as well. Of course he does. And Yannick Bustler did bits. What about Oliver Omar Esquivel? Well done to you. Of course, Ultra Omi Muir, well done as well. I'll give you a round of applause. David Heaven also did very well. Of course, Vincent Song did bits, and AJ24 did shite. Ojo52, I think I've seen your name twice, but you did okay. How about this, though? AJ24, the first one, anyway, did 4. It's actually, no, there's 2 Ojo52s. Look at that. He's trying to hedge his bets, of course. Yannick Bustler, though, kicks ass and takes them with 11. Omar Esquivel also got 11. Gaming Charlie, Russell Frost, and myself got 10 out of whatever it was, 15 or whatever the picks were. What's that done to the overall table? Well, here we go, lads. Well, of course, it is sitting pretty at the top. It is Gaming Charlie and Russell Frost with a 2-way tie. Look at that. This could be a bit of an explosive end to it. Of course, Vincent Hong, Alex Weller still in with a shout, but of course got a lot of work to do to get himself realistically in it. But of course, a 2-way tie, which is very, very good. Of course, now a bit of a disclaimer here. I've been doing these for the past couple of videos. I've been recording all day. The next video, of course, we'll do the predictions for match day number 43. I probably won't give you an update of the leaderboard, so it's going to be a bit of a guessing game. You'll know your own scores, of course, but because the games are coming thick and fast, of course, across England and of course across Europe, I don't have much time from Sunday to Monday to get these videos out. So I'm just going to kind of get the picks out for you, and then of course we'll bring you back up to date with, of course, the leaderboard. Maybe the next time, it might even be the time after that, because the games are coming too quick for me to spend a bit of time on them. So it's the way it is right now. It's the way it is. But of course, we'll get the picks out, give you a chance to get your picks in, and of course keep up the heat. Let's take a look at, of course, the next round of matches. Kick it all off with this weekend, or this actually Thursday. Rotherham against Coventry, of course. Played to the last 6. 2 wins for Rotherham, 3 for Coventry, 1 draw last round in Rotherham. It was a 4-0 win for Rotherham back in, of course, October 2019. Crooks with a couple of goals there. Matthew Smith as well with a couple of goals. Carl McFadden got himself sent off in a 4-0 win for Rotherham. That was back in League 1. Also played over this season at St Andrews as Coventry were home. Maximiliano Buyamu, Tyle Walker and Michael Smith with the big fat OG. Daniel Barcelona with the penalty, giving Rotherham a bit of hope, but unfortunately not. Coventry, though, losing the last 5 away, losing 5 of the last 6 away matches in the Championship. Of course, heading into this, Coventry just 1 win the past 5 games. The one was against Bristol City. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 4 games for Rotherham. That was against QPR, of course, just the other day. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Rotherham coming at you 64 for the victory, 90-10 is your Coventry, 23-10 is your draw. Of course, a win for Rotherham in 22nd. They could go above 21st place Coventry, but a win for Coventry in 21st. They could go up as high as 18th in the table. I think Rotherham will get another one here, and of course put a bit of heat. The teams above them, including the likes of Derby, who take on Blackburn Rovers this coming weekend. Played to the last 6. 4 wins for Rovers, 1 for Derby, 1 draw. It's Wayne Rooney FC up against Rovers, of course. Played to the last round at Ewood, was a 1-0 win for Blackburn Rovers, of course, back in December 2019. Adam Armstrong with the one and only goal. Also played to this season, 4-0 win for Rovers back in the day when we were good. Tyree Stolen, Bradley Johnson with a couple of goals there. Adam Armstrong as well. Heading into this, though, Rovers keeping a clean sheet in the last 4 matches at home against Derby, of course, also failing to win, though, in the last 3 home matches in the Championship. They're coming into this without a win in at least 6. Derby, they're picking up 1 win the past 4 games. The rest were defeats. Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one? We need this win, guys. 324 your Rovers, 12-5 is draw, 11-4 is your Derby. Derby. Of course, the win for Derby in 20th, they could actually go up as high as 18th in the table. Win for Rovers in 17th will probably seal the deal and, of course, secure safety. We could go up as high as 14th in the table, at least for 24 hours. Anyway, I'm going to go with it. Going to go with the 2 win for Rovers, and I'll have extensive coverage on this one with, of course, a watch-along, match preview, all that kind of stuff, reviews, all that kind of stuff. And again, it takes place on Friday, so quick time draw there. Next, of course, we have Reading up against Cardiff, also on Friday night. Played to the last 6. Of course, 3 wins for Reading, nothing for Cardiff, and 3 draws. That's the round in Reading. And the Majeski was a 1-1 draw in the FA Cup back in January 2020. It was a 1-1 draw then. Of course, last time played though in the league in the Majeski was a 3-0 win for Reading back in August 2019. Goals from George Pukas with a couple of goals there. John Swift as well. Also played though this season in Wales as a 2-1 win for Reading as well. Michael Morrison, Lucas Jow, and Scottish Lee Tomlin get the goal for, of course, Cardiff. Heading into this though, Reading undefeated in the last 10 matches against Cardiff in all comps. Of course, heading into this though, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Reading. That was against Derby. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 as well for Cardiff. That was against Swansea, of course, brother. Of course, heading into this one, the book is odds 23-20 for Reading. 13-5 is your draw. 9-4 is 13-5 is your away. 9-4 is the draw. Cardiff come into this must win territory if they're realistically going to have an outside shot of playoffs. I don't see how it's going to happen though. Is it mathematically possible? I don't think it is. 12 points on the agenda. There's 15 on the. They need to win this, and taking points off of Reading will give them a bit of hope. But realistically, yeah, a win for them. They could close it in on Reading. A win for Reading though, they could close it in on 6th place Barnsley. I think Reading will nick it though to end it for any hope for Cardiff. 2-1 win for Reading in the end. Next, of course, Brentford up against Millwall. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played for the last 6, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws last round in Brentford. It was a 3-2 win for Brentford back in October 2019. Josh De Silva, Brian Mbembo, Ollie Watkins on the score sheet, Tom Bradshaw, Jed Wallace giving Millwall a 2-goal lead. Also played for this isn't down at the Den. It was a 1-1 draw back in September. Brentford undefeated in 16 last 17 matches at home in the Championship. Heading into this though, Millwall just 1 defeat past 4. The 1 defeat was against Swansea. As for Brentford, just 1 win the past 5. That 1 win was against, of course, Preston just the other day. Picking up 4 draws in quick succession as well. Look at the bookies odds. Brentford coming at you 7-4 on for the victory. 13-5 is your draw. 14-5, sorry. 5-1 is your away win. That is Millwall. Millwall come into this in 9th. The win for them, they can move up to 8th. As for Brentford, they're in 4th. And the win for them, they can move up to 3rd. Automatics looks like a long shot. It looks like a season of playoffs once again for Brentford. 3-1 for Brentford. 3 points in the bag. Keep on believing. Next, of course, Middlesbrough up against, of course, QPR. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, played to the last 6. 2 wins apiece, 2 draws last time around in Butter. Was down the Riverside was a 2-0 win back in February 2019. Goals coming from Johnny House and Ashley Fletcher giving Middlesbrough the win. Also played though this season, sorry, scrap that. The last time they played was a 1-0 win for QPR at the Riverside. It was back in July 2020. Of course, goal scorer on that day was Jordan Hygill giving QPR the win. They also played though this season down at Loftus Road, 2-1 draw back in, of course, September. Bright Samuel and Scoshi Chukwuka Ukpong as well. Heading into this though, 2 wins and 2 defeats in the past 4 games for QPR. Have a bit of hot and cold form. Meanwhile, 4 games without a win for Borough. In fact, they've lost 3 of the past 4 games, and they're looking a little bit lost at sea. Bookies odds, even Stevenson for Borough at 11-4 is your QPR, 12-5 is your draw. Borough in 10th, and win for them they can move up to 8th. As for QPR, they're in 11th, and win for them they can move up to as high as 8th. Goodness gracious me, they're ending the season in tip-top shape. I think Middlesbrough will nick this one though with a 1-0 win, 3 points in the bag. Newton Town up against Watford, bit of a local affair. This one, of course, plays to the last 4. 1 win for Luton, 2 for Watford, and 1 draw. Last round at Kenilworth Road was a 2-1 win for Watford back in, of course, 2006. Goodness gracious me, Darius Henderson, Marky McKay on the score sheet. Ashley Long got himself sent off. Carlos Edwards getting the 1-0 goal for Luton. Also played though this is at Vicarage Road. It was a 1-0 win for Watford. Of course, Joe Pedro on the score sheet giving Watford the win. Watford have actually won 7 last 8 matches in the Championship coming into this. Watford winning 5 of the past 6. Of course, their only hiccup was a draw against Middlesbrough on the road. Meanwhile, Luton just 1 win in the past 3 games. Of course, back-to-back defeats was followed up by a win against Wickham. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Luton coming at you 10-3 for the victory. 65 on is your Watford. 5-2 is your draw. Luton coming to this in 13th. And win for them they can move up to 11th. As for Watford, they're in 2nd. And win for them they can close in on 1st. I think it's too late for that. 2-2 draw here. Point split right in the middle. I think Luton will be happier with the point. Nottingham Forest up against Huddersfield Town. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, played to the last 6. 2 for Forest, 4 for Huddersfield. No draws last time around in. Forest was a 3-1 win for Forest back in, of course, June 2020. In lockdown, Lewis Graham with a couple of goals there, and Ryan Yates as well. Junior Bakuna got himself sent off as Callum Grant got the 1-0 goal for Huddersfield. Also played though at the McAlpine John Smith Kirkley Stadium, whatever you want to call it. It was a 1-0 win for Huddersfield back in, of course, September this season. Fraser Campbell with the goal. Huddersfield have actually failed to win the 14 last 15 matches on the road. They come into this without a win in at least 5. 3 draws in the past 5 games as well. 2 defeats. As for Forest, they're unbeaten the last 4, picking up 2 wins and 2 draws to boot. As for the bookies odds, we are looking at Forest coming at you. Even Stevens for the victory, 11-5 is your draw. 3-1 is your Huddersfield. Huddersfield coming to this in a 19th spot, and win for them they can move up to 17th above Rovers. Of course, Forest are in 15th, and win for them they can move up to as high as 14th in the table. I think Forest will nick this one with a 2-1 win for over Huddersfield and put them in a bit of trouble. Next up, of course, we have Sheffield Wednesday Wednesday, they are taking on Bristol Rovers. Of course, played to the last 6. 4 wins on Wednesday, 2 for Bristol City, no draws last time around. In Hillsborough was a 1-0 win for Wednesday back in, of course, December 2019. Must-win territory here. Barry Bannon on the score sheet on the 85th minute. Also a pleasure, though, at the Thrashton Games, a 2-0 win for Bristol City. Tommy Rowe, Jamie Patterson giving Bristol City the win back in, of course, September. Bristol City have actually failed to win the last 5 matches in the Championship, and they're coming to this looking very lost at sea. 2 points in the past 15. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 4 games for Sheffield Wednesday. That was a 5-0 demolition against Cardiff. They need more of that. Look at the bookies odds on this one. We have Sheffield Wednesday coming at you 2019 on. They are your favourites, though. 23-10 is your draw. 14-5 is your Bristol City. Bristol City coming to this in 14th, and a win for them. They can move up to as high as 13th. As for Sheffield Wednesday, they're in 23rd. But a win for them, depending on what goes on elsewhere, they could close it in on 22nd. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think that probably is doomsday for Sheffield Wednesday. Next up, of course, Stoke City up against Preston North End. Of course, played to the last 6, 1 for Stoke, 3 for Preston. 2 draws last round in the Bet365 was a 2-0 win for Preston. Back in, of course, February 2020. Alan Brown, Tom Parkhusen on the score sheet, giving Preston the win. Also a pleasure, though, this season at Deepdale was a 1-0 win for Stoke. Lee Gregory on the score sheet. Tom Parkhusen got himself sent off. Heading into this, so Stoke, back-to-back defeats for them, losing to Millwall, losing to Birmingham. Meanwhile, Preston just 1 win the past 5 games, 6 games even, and that was a 1-0 win over Swansea. Got no buggies odds on this one, but a win for Stoke. Currently find themselves in 12th. They could go up as high as 9th. Of Preston, though, and 16th. The win for them, they can move up to 14th. Going to go with the 2-1 for Stoke on this one. 3 points in the bag. Too little, too late, though. Of course, Swansea City up against Wycombe Wanderers. Of course, must win for Wycombe, must win for Swansea. Of course, played to the last 6. 3 for Swansea, 2 for Wycombe, 1 draw last time around. In the league, in the Liberty, or whatever you call it, 2-2 draw back in 2005. Goodness gracious me. Paul Connolly, Trundle on the score sheet, Roger Johnson, Steve Guppy on the score sheet for Wycombe back in the day. Also a pleasure, though, this in Wycombe was a 2-0 win for Swansea. Andre Ayew, Jamal Lowe get the goals for Swansea. Heading into this, though, Swansea back-to-back wins, beating the likes of Millwall and Sheffield Wednesday, of course, back-to-back clean sheets as well. Just 1 defeat, the best 4 games for Wycombe. That was against Luton, 3-1 loss there. As for the bookies odds, what do we have on this one? Swansea will be red hot favourites, 2-1 for the victory, 3-1 is your draw, 30-2 is your Wycombe. Wycombe coming to this, of course, rooted, but a win for them. They could mathematically go above Sheffield Wednesday. As for Swansea, they are 3rd. Win for them, they could close it in on 2nd. Going to go with a 3-1 for Swansea to keep their belief alive of automatics. Next, of course, Norwich City up against Bournemouth. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, place of the last 6. Tough one, this one. 2 wins for Norwich, 3 for Bournemouth, and 1 draw. Last time around in the Kellerow was a 1-0 win for Norwich. Back in the Premier League, it was January 2020. Team of Pookie on the score sheet with Steve Cook, Ben Godfrey got themselves sent off. Also, a pleasure, though, this season at Bournemouth was a 1-0 win for Bournemouth. Back in, of course, September 2020. Grunewald on the score sheet with a big fat win for Bournemouth. Heading into this, though, Norwich keeping a clean sheet 7 last 9 matches at home. Bournemouth have actually won the last 5 matches in the Championship, whereas Norwich have actually won the last 11 of the last 13 matches as well. 4 wins on the spin for Bournemouth, beating the likes of Bodder, Rovers, Coventry, and of course Huddersfield. As for Norwich, 4 wins of the past 6 games, including a 7-0 demolition against Huddersfield. Back-to-back games as well with a clean sheet. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Norwich coming at you, of course, 2017 on for the victory, 13-5 is your 3-1 is your Bournemouth. Bournemouth coming to this, of course, in 5th. I went for them, they could actually go above Brentford up as high as 4th. As for Norwich, they'd be a top, and I think a win could do it to get themselves promoted back to the Premier League. I think they'll do it. 2-1 win, just enough to get over the line, and of course, promotion for Norwich. Next, of course, Rotherham United up against Birmingham City. Of course, played to the last 6, of course. Nothing wrong. Rotherham 3 for Birmingham and 3 draws. Last round in Rotherham was a 3-1 win for Birmingham. Jacques McComber on score sheet, Jota and Kevin McGrabati on the score sheet with Matt Brooks getting the goal for Rotherham, but of course not good enough for them. 3 points for Birmingham. Also, though, at St Andrews back in September 2020, it was a 1-1 draw. Jeremy Bella on the score sheet with Kieran Sadler as well. Birmingham keeping a clean sheet in the last 3 matches in the Championship. Also failing to score though in the last 3 matches on the road. Coming into this though, unbeaten the last 3, picking up 2 wins and a draw to boot. Meanwhile, back-to-back games without a defeat for Rotherham, have them maybe, just maybe, hanging on in there in the division. I'll look at the bookies odds on this one. Rotherham at 85 for the victory, 23-10 is draw, 30-8 is your Birmingham. A win for Birmingham in 18th. They could go up as high as 16th for the table. A win for Rotherham, though. Of course, back-to-back wins. If they get back, they're going to be 6 points on the agenda. They could go up as high as 18th in the table. And guess what? Put her in a rat's nest in the old promotion stakes. I think they'll just get the point here, though, which is still enough. It's a point in the right direction. And, of course, depending on what goes on with Coventry, that could be a trouble for them as they take on Barnsley. Of course, played for the last 6, 2 wins apiece, 2 draws last round at Coventry / St Andrews was, of course, 1-0 win for Coventry back in, of course, September 2018. Jordan Willis on the score sheet giving Coventry the win. Also, played though, at Oakham, it was a 0-0 draw back in September. Heading into this, though, Barnsley winning the last 6 away matches in the Championship. Also scoring at least 2 goals in the last 4 on the road. Coming into this, yes, 1 defeat for the past 6 games for Barnsley. That was against Sheffield Wednesday. Meanwhile, 1 win the past 5 for Coventry. That was against Bristol City. Have them flapping around. Meanwhile, Coventry 30-5 for the victory, 12-5 is draw. 20-20 is your Barnsley. Barnsley coming to this, of course, in 6th. Over them, they could mathematically go 4th. Of course, Coventry on 21st, but a win for them, they can move up to 18th in the table. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw, point in the bag, which might not be good enough for them at the foot of the table. That's what I've got for you today, and I don't know what the table will look of course, I'm a bit at panic stations right now trying to get these games or these picks in for you. So we'll bring you up to date with, of course, the table next time around, of course. And also, like I said earlier, the next few prediction shows will be a little bit condensed because there's a lot of games coming on at quick time, and I just don't have the time to bring you up to date with the leaderboards. But I will be keeping score of them myself on my own time, and then we'll bring you bang up to date later. Until then, though, be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. We'll do it all again very, very soon, of course, as the games come in thick and fast. Until then, though, smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe. Check the links down below. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon, of course, if you want to support the channel in another way. Until then, though, I'll see you all next time for some more action out in the championship.